the second category of flam rudiments, and keep building upon our flam skills. This category of rudiment is different from the first in that we are going to now employ a more fluid legato bounce stroke motion. We're going to talk about two rudiments that are the best application or demonstration to illustrate this part of flams, this category of flams. And the first one is flam taps. Now, flam taps literally are a flam and then a tap. And then the other hand, flam, tap. So it's right, right, left, left. So if I just went very slow and read the rudiment, in a very literal sense, that's what you would play. And that's a good thing to practice in the beginning. So I put flam taps here on the screen. You can see you have two rights, two lefts, two rights, two lefts, and the first of each double stroke is a flam. So if we played it very slow, it would go like this. Let's go 1, E, and Now that's certainly valuable to do very slowly and get used to the pattern in your hands. But mastering this rudiment requires that we use a rebound stroke, a triple stroke motion. Because as we go faster and faster, there comes a point where you just have to start bouncing the sticks. Right there. That's what the flam taps sound up to tempo. Sound like up to tempo. So, if you notice, each hand, if you're kind of watching each hand plays, for instance, my right hand plays right, right, and then it plays a third note, which is the grace note for the next hand's left, left. So I end up with 3 notes in a row. And to play them fast, I do a triple stroke motion like this. Now, it's important to notice that this triple stroke motion is not all the same volume. That's not it, because the third note of that triple stroke is a grace note for the next hand's flam. So we use this, what I call a decreasing stroke. You throw the stick into the head, you relax your grip just slightly, using your fingers and your wrist to control the rhythm, let the drum do the work, and let the stick go be-da-dum. It's like da-da-dum, da-da-dum. Bum, bum, bum. The second 2 notes are pretty close to the same height, but they're down there low. Third note's right around there. Now, I don't really know how else to do that, but you just start. Control your hand, throw the stick into the head, and try to use that rebound. Now, you could do this to try to get that rebound feeling going. You got to let the stick bounce, but you have to control the rhythm with your hand and your fingers. A real common mistake here is to get this. The space between the first note and the second note is too big. You have to use your hand to push through and make 3 even notes. Dee-da-dum. 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN. So watch me do that a little bit more. Listen carefully to your second and third notes. Watch carefully and work the rebound. Let's try the left hand. 2, 1 EN, go. So you just got to work that. Just practice that triple stroke motion. Now, putting the hands together to play the actual rudiment flam tap, you've got to start slow and develop the coordination from hand to hand, but then at some point you just have to kind of dive in and go fast and try to put it all together. But an exercise that I really like is to work on the flam tap of one hand at a time. So if we took this rudiment, which just alternating flams, which we've already done. Now I'm going to put this exercise up here on the screen so you can see that's what we have to begin with, alternating flams. Then we're going to do the flam tap on the right hand, which means the right hand starts doing this triple stroke, but the left hand continues to do this. So the first 2 measures, kind of slowly but fast enough to do the bounce motion. See that? getting that smooth legato fluid motion. Let's try it again. Ready? And just keep repeating those 2 measures. If that requires me to get a feel for playing the triple stroke and continue to getting that good chut, 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 chut flam that I want. Now we can go to the 3rd and 4th measure, do the same thing with the left hand. Let's try that. Ready? Go. All right, so each hand is working that triple stroke, incorporating it into an actual flam environment where you've got to play flams while you do the triple stroke. Then obviously the last 2 measures. We do the individual flams and then do flam taps on both hands. Let's try that. Ready? Go. So you see how I'm like just taking chunks of an exercise and working just small pieces, getting it exactly right, going to the next piece, and then we can work to put it all together. Be meticulous and break it apart. Now, as I've taught people to play flam taps, at the end of the day, it really boils down to the triple stroke. If you've spent the time to master flams in the previous lessons like you should have, then you've got a feel for flams. It's just mastering that triple stroke. And once you can do that, I find that people can just throw their hands together and go for it. Then it's about really using your ear to listen to make sure you're getting a good, clean chut, 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 that you like the flam you're hearing on both hands. Let's play all of this exercise that I put up on the screen. Let's play the whole exercise. 1, 2, ready, and... There you go. That's the flam tap. Now, realize that there's a contrast between that rudiment and the first category of flams, the flam accents and flam paradiddles. 2 very strict heights, accents and taps. Flam taps are not that way. They're more fluid. Legato strokes. It's not 2 strict stick heights of accents and taps. You use quite a bit of rebound in playing those motions. You have to stop the stick low in the flam accents and play the taps low. So your hands have got to be there on the sticks, ready to go. When you use the rebound, you open your hands very, very little, just enough to get the action you need. And then you're ready to grab back on to play an accent stroke followed by a tap. It allows you to move from different types of rudiments very quickly and cleanly and fluidly. So be aware of how you're using your hands. Drumming is a mastery of motions. So understand the motions that you should be doing and do the right thing at the right time. Now, that's the flam tap. There's one other rudiment in this category of flams that I really like, called the Swiss Army triplet. Most people just call them Swiss triplets or Swisses. But if you see here on the screen, I've got a measure of triplets. The sticking is right, right, left, right, right, left. And then you add a grace note to create the same basic sticking, but you add a flam on the very first note. This is also a bounced rudiment, okay? So if I just literally played each note slowly, and this is also a good thing to do to get used to the sticking, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left. Okay, that's what the sticking is. But when you go fast, again, you use these bounce motions. Now, what is the motion? Well, each hand just plays 2 notes. Sometimes I've heard people say, well, a Swiss triplet's just a messed up roll. Well, I don't know. I don't really like to think of it that way per se, but I get the point because each hand is only playing 2 notes. But the relationship is very important. The left hand is at tap height. It plays the 3rd note of the triplet, 1, 2, 3, and then it plays a grace note on the 1st note of the triplet. The right hand plays the first 2, the 3rd note, the grace note is the 3rd note, and then the 1st note. I'll start again. Left hand plays the 3rd note of the triplet, and then the 1st note of the triplet, it plays the grace note for the flam. The right hand plays the first 2 notes of the triplet, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it plays medium height. With has a very similar feel to the way we play the triple stroke on the Flam Tap, but it's very smooth and legato, but it's medium height. And the first note can be a little bit more emphasized than the second note, but they're pretty much equal. But you've got this relationship. That's what's important. So being able to keep the left hand down and the right hand up at medium height is important. So I like to start with this triplet pattern that does not have a flam. Let's do that slowly. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, ready, and... Now you should practice that a lot, just that all by itself. Over and over again and get that triplet nice and smooth. You don't want the right hand to close up and turn into this. It's not 1 and 2 and, it's triplet, triplet, ready, go. Right hand. Very much like the double beat exercise that we did earlier. Left hand. When you add that grace note, the left hand just does this double. So let's put that grace note in and play the second measure. Slowly. Triplet, triplet, ready, and... Just got to work that very, very slow. Same thing on the left hand. Work the triplet figure. That triplet even, grace note height, medium height, then add the grace note. There you go. The next step is to just gradually take up the speed. Let's go about 1, 2, ready, and... Now, as you get those going faster and faster, you really kind of have to dig in and get a little aggressive with that right hand to push the flam and that triplet feel forward. Okay, same thing on the left. You just gotta chut, 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 chut. Even though it's this bounced legato environment, you still got to hear the flam and get that chut, chut, chut sound that you want. It's not quite as accented as in the flam accent or flam paradiddle, but you still want to hear a flam. You don't want it to be wishy-washy. All right? So Swiss triplets, very cool. Lots of application for those triplets in jazz drumming and so forth. So go slow, master those two rudiments. These category number 2, these bounce legato flam rudiments. Good luck.